What will you find in the darkest reaches of your
That's a
mind?
cool portal.
Come, step into my
A really cool
world
portal.
of
Is it getting
twisted
bigger?
illusion. Witness the birth of fear.
Hiding ground effect so we can die easier. The fog looks really annoying.
Move quickly through the mist of madness.
What is that? What is that skill?
Fiends and horrors beyond all
Two new skills.
reason.
It's like lightning tendrils art.
And if you're lucky, you'll be rewarded with power. And if you're lucky,
One added is peak vigor, one added is special reserve, one added is a jewel socket. Adds 6 passive skills. 10% faster restoration.
you'll be rewarded with power beyond
And you can grab them.
reckoning. A little madness makes stop.
So all I'm saying from this is we're gonna open Dan's profile and be like, okay dude, nice. Hollow palm technique. Even more power creep. Wow. Wait. Is that the Hydra? The Hydra and another boss? This looks like it's gonna be super awful for streamers. What coaster do you have there?
Experience my finest wonder.
Hi Dan.
Delirium.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Touch the mirror of Delirium and your nightmares will manifest as reality.
Is Delirium the opposite of Calandra?
Existing enemies gain terrifying abilities and new foes emerge from the mists. Plunge deeper into the Delirium to seek deadlier terrors and even greater rewards. Delirium affects all Path of Exile content to greatly increase
Are there
its
no
risk
boats?
and
Is that
return.
fake?
Consume orbs of Delirium to put entire maps into a state of Delirium. Each orb increases the intensity and adds a new reward type. Combine splinters from these maps to reveal Delirium's mysterious endgame encounter. Grow your
boats?
passive skill tree by placing cluster jewels in its outermost sockets. Craft these jewels to improve their passives, add one of 280 new notables, or graft additional sockets and exclusive keystone passives.
What? Can I just have like a skill tree with just jewels?
Combine splinters from these maps to reveal your passive skill tree by placing cluster jewels in its outermost sockets. Craft these jewels to improve their passives, add one of 280 new notables, or graft additional sockets and exclusive keystone passives.
Slightly limited by size. Large, medium to small. Ah. Wow, that skill looks so cool.
Experience Delirium on Friday the 13th of March.
That's what I said, Poog! Well, for a while I was saying the 6th. Alright, let's
G'day,
listen to the
ZKD
Ziggy
here,
video.
and welcome to my reveal of the next Path of Exile expansion, Delirium.
Come, step into my world of twisted illusion. Witness the birth of fear.
Maybe the 5 months.
Through the mirror of Delirium, we see a reflection of our own world, shrouded in insanity. For those with the fortitude to cross through the looking glass, great challenge and rewards await. In Delirium, players will cross the threshold and enter the Delirium state. Through this new perspective, we see a Rayclass shrouded in fog. Within this fog dwells both new horrors and twisted versions of old ones. The further we travel from the mirror of Delirium, the thicker
That
the
was
fog
cool.
becomes, and the more dangerous its trials.
Yeah,
the fog of
necessary
Delirium
spray
can
is so
even
cool.
alter bosses well known to us,
Sleep Sun does
changing
not
their
remove
forms
lines.
and powers. New powerful bosses can also lurk deep within the fog to challenge players in this new mental state. Each Delirium encounter modifies existing monsters and bosses and adds new monsters to each zone. As we explore deeper into the fog and defeat more of the monsters within, the greater our reward becomes. In addition to the regular loot from our encounters, Delirium will also track the amount of destruction you have wrought while in the Delirium
That should be
state
nice
and deliver
density.
increasing rewards. The type of reward will be
It looks
visible
so
from the
spawning,
outset,
though.
so for a reward of currency, uniques, or other desirable bounties, you can risk pushing the limits for multiple
That's
rewards.
insane for
The
Headhunter.
more you kill, the greater the bounty, and it'll be possible to earn multiple of the specified drops from a single Delirium if you push deep enough into the fog. Delirium can affect every encounter in the game, including story bosses and endgame maps. In most cases, the Mirror of Delirium will be near the beginning of the map, so that we can progress the Delirium state as we progress through the map. If things have gotten too out of hand, players can retreat and let the fog dissipate to return to normality. Speaking with Chris Wilson, managing director of Grinding Gear Games, Delirium was inspired by crowd favorite Breach, but it aims to greatly improve the concept by giving greater control over increasing risk versus reward and better integration with the base game and previous League mechanics. Delirium will modify and interact with existing League mechanics such as Breach, Incursion, and Betrayal, making them far more dangerous and rewarding. In addition to the regular Mirror of Delirium encounters, players will also be able to create Delirium maps
What if I was a map adding with the unique items reward type? Weapons, currency, map, armor.
using Orbs of Delirium. These maps will contain a uniform amount of the Delirium fog throughout the entire map. Adding more Orbs of Delirium will create thicker fog and a map that is much more difficult than normal, while increasing the Delirium rewards. Each orb has a specific reward type
I wonder if this is going to be busted with Beyond. Thank you for the 21 months, Manlito.
that players will be able to stack up and earn upon successfully killing enough monsters within the map. Additionally, Delirium maps can drop splinters which can be combined to create a simulacrum. The challenge the simulacrum will contain and the story and creature behind the Delirium is being kept a secret for now. Back to the topic of rewards, Delirium is a league designed to push boundaries, including the boundaries of the passive skill tree. In what is reported to be the biggest change to the skill tree since Ascendancies, Delirium will add cluster jewels which can be socketed to expand the passive skill tree. These jewels dynamically expand the skill tree, adding new clusters, notables, and keystones for players to further customize and create new builds with.
2 grasping mines each while stationary. 2% chance to deal double damage. Oh. Wow. Really good with whirling blades. Or leap slam. Wait, that works with flicker strike.
Builds with. Most of these jewels drop with specific
Soul
unchangeable
Ball, thank you for the
enchantments
raid,
and
dude.
craftable.
We're just
The
looking over the
crafted
new PoE
modifiers
stuff.
alongside of the enchantment
Thanks so
will
much, dude.
determine
Hope you had a
what
great
the
stream. Good
passives
to
and
see ya.
notables will offer. Here we have a small cluster jewel with a notable cluster of 3 points. The crafted modifier on this jewel adds a notable, Molten-One's mark, and this can be changed through crafting. This next medium cluster jewel adds 5 new passives and has crafted modifiers adding life and chaos resistance to the minor nodes, and a Blessed Rebirth notable. Note that it also has a modifier granting an extra socket which you can expand with another cluster jewel of a smaller size. And here we see a large
Mana
cluster
thank you for the
jewel
11
with a
months.
socket and 2 notables. It's possible by using large, medium, and small cluster jewels to chain 3 jewels deep into this new skill tree expansion, and this can be done from any socket in the outer areas of the skill tree. With the fact that these are craftable, these new cluster jewels will offer insane new levels of customization and build creation. Chris Wilson explained that the idea here was to allow players to create and customize builds that were much more experimental in nature. While these will be much easier to trade with other players than the highly obscure Legion jewels, it still presents a build creation experience that'll be much more unique player to player than copying build plans from the preset and static skill tree. In addition to the craftable jewels, there will also be unique jewels that add new keystones, such as Hollow Palm Technique. This keystone allows for a new monk.
You can get this dual wielding while you're unencumbered. You're unencumbered while you have no equipped gloves, main hand item, or offhand item. Path of Exile Monk? 40% more attack speed while you're unencumbered? 14 to 20 attack physical damage per 10 days.
Monk-style build that uses neither weapons nor glove slots. Another unique jewel
60%?
here
They
allows
buffed
a
it?
large cluster with 3 jewel sockets, so that you can chain up to 3 more medium cluster jewels from it if you want to go really crazy.
That's 3 jewels. Wow.
with expanding the
That's gonna
passive
be
tree.
expensive.
Finally, for the min-maxers, there will also be a new corrupted jewel that can be placed
Jewel socket is 20% in case per allocated.
anywhere, called Split Personality. This unique jewel will have different bonuses that scale with the distance from the player's class starting point. You can even use this with the new cluster jewels to further extend the distance that it's placed. Alongside of Legion jewels, these highly customizable cluster jewels from Delirium aim to give players the opportunity to create truly unique build ideas. Now, in addition to all of these jewels, there will be other new unique
30% melee damage, 68 life. You can have 2 different banners at the same time. Banners you're carrying gain 1 stage on melee hit up to 5 per second. Wow. Increased adrenaline and fortified
techniques
duration.
available in Delirium. 4 of these
I
will
don't
be
think I'll
part
ever
of a
use that.
cosmetic armor set based upon the storied antagonist. Perfidy, for example,
We go
is
to
a
melee
unique body
league.
armor that allows you to carry 2 banners with enhancements for their use. Alga Mortis, on the other hand, is a pair of gloves
25% chance to sap. Enemies in your chilling areas take 25% lightning areas. Meh.
that provides
Meh.
an independent method of applying the lightning ailment sap, which lowers enemies' damage by 20%. As you can see, this set of
Check
items
what
is not
base
just
the
a unique
test
body
was
armor
on.
that allows you to
Oh
carry 2
no!
set of items is not necessarily designed to be used together, but they can be skin transferred as a complete cosmetic set for those wishing to play Delirious dress-ups. Now, alongside Delirium League, the core game is also receiving some major
It's a
improvements.
glorious play.
The new Conquerors of the Atlas endgame is getting a much-needed update to make Conqueror spawns deterministic rather than random. Each map you complete will check a box on the left of the Atlas screen, which now shows exactly how many maps you have to complete in that region to spawn your next Conqueror fight. There will also be a new 3-to-1 vendor recipe to
The boss
trade up
trap anyway,
sextants.
probably.
Additionally, last expansion Vile side areas were added to endgame maps, but their challenge and rewards were
Yeah, I
vastly
know,
out
but
of sync with the rest of
chilling
the
around.
game.
That's
Vile
it.
side areas and maps will now always spawn as rare with lots of modifiers, and bosses have also been buffed. Additional rewards have also been added to the encounters. The Temple of Atsuatl is also receiving some much-needed love, making it more dense and rewarding, with a suite of improvements to specific room rewards.
I'm too lazy
Now,
for
last
that
expansion's
Ventura.
Metamorph League was a hit, and as such has been added to the core game as content you'll encounter randomly, alongside of some deterministic ways of encountering Metamorphs with enhanced rewards.
It's good for bosses.
And of course, what is a new expansion without new skills to play? The most recent expansions have gone with a themed approach, restricting new skill designs to specific archetypes. However, Delirium is a bit different. GGG allowed the skill designers an unfettered opportunity to design whatever skills they wanted to see in the game, and they created 4 new skills and 3 new support gems. An example of what happens when you give the designers free reign is a Blade Blast. All Blade skills, Blade Vortex, Blade Fall, and Ethereal Knives, now leave behind blades. This is important because Blade Blast is a skill which can allow you to detonate your blades. You can cast Blade Fall and then detonate the blade stuck in the ground, or you can cast both a Blade skill and Blade Blast in sequence with Cast on Crit or other similar mechanics. You can now also cast Animate Weapon on your blades, forever solving the debacle of how Animate Weapon works in encounters that don't have weapon drops. One of the skill designers wanted to make something really pretty, it seems, because the other skill I can reveal today is Kinetic Bolt, a mesmerizing new wand attack. This new skill creates forking bolts with solid interaction with the barrage support. And now I'll close things off with a couple of my own opinions. Delirium looks to be a much more modern take on the concept of Breach. It's still the idea of a radiating outwards circle, but it sounds like we'll have a lot more direct control over the challenge it presents as we push it further and further along
you,
through
Pussy.
each map.
Thanks so much,
That it
dude.
actually
Tier 3, thank you.
interacts with regular monsters, bosses, and other league mechanics should make for some pretty spicy challenges, and it also should present some interesting risk-reward moments that we'll have to evaluate on the fly. Being able to see the reward that we'll get if we push into the fog harder should provide some solid motivation if we know that the reward is going to be good, and that if we take the risk, we can potentially earn multiple instances of that reward. I'm personally most excited, however, for the new jewels and build customization they'll offer. I started last league falling in love with the Legion jewels. I know I'm a little bit late to the party here, and I've been using them in almost all of my builds. But the Legion jewels do have some rather big problems with the obscurity of the seed-based system that they use. Being able to specifically craft jewels to create passive clusters is likely going to lengthen both the tail end of the crafting system in the league and also build creating opportunities. It'll be exciting to find out just how many options are available for each cluster type. There's apparently 280 new notables available. It'll also be very interesting to see just how much this will change the nature of build creation in Path of Exile. In some more good news, in my press interview that I had with Chris Wilson, he was happy to report that thanks to improved management of their Christmas break period and their expanding team, GGG was ahead of schedule on the development of this league, which is always good to hear and promises a solid
That can't be true, right? It's postponed 1 week already. It should have been 6th of March, right?
league with a clean launch. The Delirium expansion is coming to PC on March 13th, with console releasing a week later. That's it for now. I'm Ziggy D, and thanks for watching.
Last league started 13th December. Yeah, but last league is already a week behind as well. So they haven't caught up. They've just done the same. But it's fine. It makes sense that delay was on schedule. I guess you're right. The delay was on schedule. Metamorph was delayed. This is exactly 3 months since then. Yeah, I know. I thought they would like make it up now, but it makes sense. They weren't planning on catching up. Makes sense. Are they nerfing my anime weapon? I feel like anime weapon's gonna get destroyed. I'm not that excited for the blade skill. So I'd rather just say initially kill all my enemies anyway. The league looks pretty cool. I guess it's guaranteed not to be beyond on the map device. Yes, Also, that video doesn't have the part about the performance, but it said something about using PoE 2 technology so the fog doesn't burn our PCs down. Let's go look at the official Delirium page. It's very clear, student meta. I feel like it's 100 league. I think I'm gonna go for 100. Thank you, Shrimpton. Wait, is there a Delirium page? Got it. Let me just put on some like in-game music. Just remove Headhunter. I mean, Headhunter just could use with a small buff, in my opinion. Unironically, it sounds like such a meme because Headhunter's obviously broken. Put it back to 30 seconds and then remove all temp chains shenanigans. So then it only lasts 30 seconds and never more than that. Is it worth it to go to 100 though? Yeah, 100 race is a lot of fun. So we've seen the trailer. Mysterious inflection has infiltrated your mind. As you touch the mirror of Delirium, a reality turns to mist and your worst nightmares emerge before your eyes. Breakstock, thank you for the 2 months. 21 months. Sorry. Our March expansion contains the Delirium Challenge League, the new cluster duel system, new skills and support gems, powerful new items, and further improvements to the Atlas endgame. Fire with 16 months. Yeah, it looks like a fun. It looks like So usually for the 100 race, we end up skipping a lot of the league mechanics. We might do it early game to gear up, but then we end up skipping it because it slows down our XP. This time, it sounds like it's something that'll be fun and good for XP. So I'm very excited about it. I'm kind of in the mood to push level 100, and I'm also thinking I might do a 40-hour session for launch. Hello, Foxy. Because I've only done 39.5 hours because I stopped right before 40. Because your health doesn't matter. It's actually really healthy to stay up 40 hours. Doctors recommend it a lot. Very, very healthy. Like your sub count just like whoosh, straight up. Well, I'm not going to be doing it at this level. I don't think this is going to be something I do until like level 20, 30 at least. These things are always like really horrible. Yeah, the fighting in the screenshots looks pretty bad. You think anime weapon won't be viable? I mean, I will be shook if they don't nerf it. If they don't nerf it, then I'm gonna have a lot of fun this league. I don't feel like the blades make a big difference though. I don't really build anime weapon that way anyway. Why nerf it? Because it's OP on a 1C budget. It's probably ED time. Dude, it is probably ED time. Well, I'm hoping Winter Orb gets buffed instead. But yeah, it is probably ED time. That's like, my initial feeling is Essence Strain. How can you tell it's good for XP? There's also monsters. They're going to give XP. 100%. And they're adding monsters. That skill looks really cool. Nerf ED and Summoners 100%. Well, ED got nerfed out of playability for like 3 leagues. So last league was like the only league people bothered playing ED again for a while. Yeah, it was OP in Legion, then it got nerfed the league after. ED hasn't been buffed? No, it hasn't. But people bothered playing it again. And not that many people play it. ED's not that meta. Like, ED's not OP right now. The fuck? That looks so weird. That... I don't know if it's just me, but this looks really out of place in Path of Exile. For some reason, this looks like an arcade game. I feel like I just blew up a spaceship. ED is Essence Strain. That's like the things on the ground. Terror permeates Ore class. Nowhere safe. Encounters you once mastered cannot be played under the effects of Delirium. Huh. Is there a reason to? It's gonna be interesting. Extra skill points? Maybe. Much for AD. Bow League? This does not look like a bow league. Well, I mean, depends what they do. Huh. Look at this guy. Orbs of Delirium can be applied to in-game maps to control how intense your Delirium is. So I'm gonna give them some intense Delirium. I wonder if they chose Delirium Essence to be changed at all, or keep it the same, or rename it. You're immediately plunged into Delirium for the entire duration of the map. A single orb creates a challenging encounter, but up to 5 can be applied to ultimate difficulty and rewards. I like how they're teasing us with Beyond. They're teasing. Magic Find overpriced again? Why? Why would Magic Find be overpriced again? I don't know. MF hasn't been like the most OP thing in a long time. It's most because there's so many mechanics in the game now that aren't affected by Magic Find. Hey Soul, what's up? The Simel... That... Search the deepest reaches of your Delirium for splinters and combine them to create that. Enter its portal and try to survive the ultimate endgame Delirium challenge. Simulacrum. Simulacrum. That sounds better. Simulacrum. How do you defeat that which dwells within you? Shimmy, shimmy. Expand your path. Extend your passive skill tree by placing cluster jewels in one of its outmost sockets. It's only in the far out ones, with craftable mods that improve the passive tree generated. You're gonna fight your shade? Maybe, yeah. Maybe we are the boss. Creates a copy of your character with 44 headhunter buffs. Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you imagine if it copies? Maybe it's the anti-headhunter league. Maybe sometimes it'll create a copy of your character including the buffs, and you just get one hit by your own headhunter effect. Cool call, thank you for the 22 months, dude. And Sarge Awesome, thank you for the 5 months. You see a foot and you insta-die? One's marked. Blessed Rebirth. They made them so much better than Legion Jewels. Like, easier. Devastator. 15% chance to explode, dealing a tenth of their max life. This seems very specific. This seems very not scalable. I've never seen that before. Dealing a tenth? Verbatim? Guessing you can have multiple, but it doesn't look like the explosion is scalable. Crisis, thank you for the 3 months, dude. Hollow Palm, oh, and that's 60 now, yeah. Huh. In-game improvements. Nice. Improve the Temple of Atsuodal. Revamped Val side areas. Pog Val side areas just add on. So I guess if you find like a reflect one, it will be the current map you're in plus reflect. You can scale the chance, but not the percentage, yeah. That's pretty cool. No, Valve will roll is rare now. Oh. I was hoping they would just add on to the current map. Grounders, thanks. Thank you for the 2 months. Extra incentives to reach higher awakening levels. Really? I already had a lot of incentives to be higher awakening level. I thought awakening level was already strong. It was also really exciting, so the fact that they're buffing it even more is so cool. Like, I already felt super rewarded for playing an awakener level 8. I will most likely be racing to level 100. I don't particularly feel like racing to Awakener is that exciting when it's already been out, if that makes sense. Like, I just don't feel like Awakener is a difficult boss. In my opinion, the race at the moment would then be more like being able to kill the, I feel like the Conquerors are a lot harder than Awakener. Yeah, Uber Elder is a better race, but it's 2 RNG. But Uber Elder is actually hard. Race to the new boss though, or just 100. So I'm guessing this is not going to be a difficult boss. It usually isn't. Like, unless the boss is very hyped, it's usually not difficult. Owl wasn't hyped. True. Owl with no mods isn't too hard either, though. But it's fairly hard. You're right. You're right. I don't... to be fair, the reason Owl wasn't hyped, I don't think GGD ever expected any player to encounter Owl. He's so rare. Even before getting one-shotted by a new boss? Yeah, of course. I mean, that can happen. I'm just saying, like, based on past experience. Bow down, thank you for the 23, dude. Delirium introduces 4 new skill gems and 3 new support gems. Little buff. Not a big fan of this skill. Arc Tendrils. Fires a projectile from your wand that bounce back and forth. Spell damage further empowers the wand attack. Is Crown of Ice back? Does it stack? That could be really cool. Imagine if it double dips with Crown of Ice. It is a spell? But it says fire a projectile. It doesn't sound like it's a spell. It's definitely an attack. Yeah. I wonder if it'll stack or if it'll just have the Crown of Ice effect. Maybe at a lower value. Stormbind. Place storm runes on the ground that spread out as you channel. You can then channel mana into your runes, upgrading and detonating them. I can be Baran now? We can roleplay? Baran roleplay? Nice. Seems like a Hierophant skill. I don't think I've ever been initially less excited about a skill. I don't know. None of the new skills. Well, the lightning one looks cool, but the other two, they're like. I mean, it can be good. It just seems clunky. But I mean, to be fair, I could listen to the Baran soundtrack and go around saying Baran quotes. You will be judged. But yeah, they're not particularly exciting. There's one more there. Yeah, awesome. Powerful new items. Adds Disciple of Kitava. Consume an nearby corpse to recover 5% life from mana. 10% more damage if you haven't consumed a corpse recently. Why is this not limited to one? Oh, Taken. Yes, I did miss the Taken part. Whew. Here, I just got off a flight, basically. This isn't reading? Yeah, I'm not good at reading. No read good. I thought it was like, you do 10% more damage, and I was like... Sounds like keystones that can't be sucked. Oh, yeah, you're right. Recro, thank you for the 22 months. Wizball, thank you for the 31. And Lloyd, thank you for the 3 months. You are correct, chat. This dual target has 20% increased effect per allocated. Yeah, that one seems wild. So wait, how far out can we place it? Imagine that one with strength mana, yeah. So wait, 20% effect. So if we get 600 effect. Well, it still won't be that good. Well. It's plus 1 stat for each node. Right, okay. As long as you path weirdly, yeah. So yeah, Mana Guardian builds, you end up with around 50 mana, 50 int jewels, so 75 and 10 ES jewel. Right. The Tinker's Table and Dying Sun. Fossil and Dying Sun. See, I read, this I did read. I read about this on Path of Exile, and the guy who made it as a, was it a homage to his dad or grandfather? I think it was like a homage to his dad or grandfather that died. Dad? Okay. And he was also saying, he was very aware that a lot of people don't like boss divination cards. I actually don't feel like, I feel like TTT are at fault by how they put boss divination cards. I feel like something like this card would be perfect to drop off the Shaper. Like, I still don't like boss divination cards. Like, they should be shards. They should be like, what's a good word for it? Like when you don't get the thing you want And like, they should never be able to drop from diviners. Consolation prize was the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah, it should be a consolation prize, like a pity thing. And bad luck protection. Yeah, so like, I hate diviner strongboxes. Diviner strongboxes should only be able to drop some. Like, maybe the void. Maybe the void is fine, and the void dropping this, because that's so rare, right? Like, if you actually, like, that's fun. Like, if you get something really rare, even a boss drop from the void, you know what? Fuck it, dude. That's, like, barely ever gonna happen, and gives you a really cool pog moment. I'm okay with that. But, like, being able to just buy a Dying Sun for 30C because some fucker opened a diviner box? Not a big fan. That's what I don't like. It's already 30C? Yikes. What do you mean, Stidschult? His dad died? Yeah, I mean, and that's sad, but that doesn't change my opinion on whether boss drops should drop from non-boss things. Like, the entire point of bosses and what makes them cool are the items that are locked behind them. Like, if I can go do Hail Rake and get a Starforge, what's the point in doing Shaper if I can get every item off just Hail Rake? Like, that's the entire thing that makes boss things special.